Hope you guys don't mind. We're going to send you this recording afterwards as well. All right, Licole. All right, all right. So I'll allow you just to give yourself a little bit of a bio, where you're from, what you currently do, and then we'll go into questions.
Cool. So, hi everyone. I am Licole Bursey. I am from East St. Louis, Illinois, and I'm typically closer 10 minutes away from St. Louis. So this is kind of like considered like my market of where like all my jobs are based from. And currently I am a mixture of IT and cybersecurity specialist for a small mental health company based out of Chicago.
Great. Great, great, great. All right. So with that, what initially drew you to the field of cybersecurity, right? And what keeps you motivated to stay in there?
So what drew me, LimeWire era. So downloading all this illegal music on a desktop computers. And I was very much in, I want to say maybe between like fifth and sixth grade. So I was always putting viruses on the computer. And my sister at the time, she was a systems analyst. So I would actually have to call her to come and wipe and remove the viruses from our computer. So after like watching her, I would intentionally put viruses on the computer so I could learn and figure out how to do it myself. So mastering that and had no idea that cybersecurity was a thing at that time due to age. However, I know I had an interest in tech. So fast forward, went to school, got a degree in computer science. We touched some security components at the end of like my senior year, but not a whole lot. So I was like, okay, this is something I can see myself doing. After that, enrolled into some cohorts, and then I officially enrolled into a cybersecurity cohort in 2021, which I got a full on learning experience with learning like blue teaming, red teaming, purple teaming, um, and a little bit of GRC too, which is governance, rents, compliance, etc. Um, so after attaining my certifications and just learning a little bit more about what cybersecurity actually is. Just practice some of the things that they taught during the cohort. And it took me, I want to say, about like close to a year to obtain and pivot officially in cybersecurity. Um, what kept me motivated? One, my character is based off loyalty. I'm very loyal to anyone into my life, and I'm very a good protector of people that I adore and that I love. And also, by me being the only technical person around anyone that I encounter in all my different social groups, people always come to me for help when it comes to typical needs and now cybersecurity needs. So that's a motivation right there. And I'm also just self-motivated as well. And looking at all the statistics based off where I myself as a Black woman stands within the technical industry, that's a push for me to not only remain in this, but for me to get other women that look like me to get in as well. And this is just what I do. Like, it has never been something that I stopped enjoying. Um, and I'm just a continuous learner as well. So always learning something new, looking forward to what's to come, and how can I be prepared for the things that's happening now and that we're experiencing now. But yeah, all of it.
Absolutely. Love that answer. So a lot of, just natural talent and, having someone, you said your sister was a systems analyst, and just having that curiosity, it seems, that curiosity and, determine and drive has kept you, in the game in cybersecurity. So that's very great. Very great. So now I want to ask this question. If someone was starting from zero, they didn't know nothing about cybersecurity, they wanted to get in, they want to switch careers, what is the first thing they should do as far as certifications or skills or anything? They don't know anything, nothing about cyber. What's the first thing they should do?
The first thing you should do is learn how to Google, learn how to research, figure out what it is about this particular sector that is drawn to you, because it is surely a way bigger umbrella than what we could possibly dare think it is, because new roles are recurring and being created out of it. So figuring out what it is that you like about it, figuring out what do you want to do, and what currently skill sets that you have already can be expanded on to impact the role that you want to have. When it comes to an educational standpoint, I took a traditional route, and also understanding how things work and how things stay connected. So if I was just to start from zero again, I definitely would still go back to school, still be doing a computer science program because we didn't have a cybersecurity program at my institution at the time. So I would still go through a traditional technical route with my degree. Um, I still would go after the certifications. I would say for cyber now, um, I probably would do network plus first before security plus because networking and security go hand in hand and they both have a mending relationship. So making sure I understand networking, how networking works, and then jumping into security plus because security plus um, covers some networking things, but not all of it. But understanding how technology works and how technology talks to each other. Um, and those are just like the basics. And I would say after you attain these certifications, you practice like these different labs, these different projects, while applying for jobs and actually obtaining a job. Depending on what role you acquire within the cybersecurity, I should say, identify what you like about this role and what tools you're working with on a daily basis. And what do you like about these tools, but you don't like about this role? Because there's a lot of things that these different organizations put into these job descriptions, and you're doing more than what this job description can say, or you're doing less than what this job description can say. So identifying what it is about this role now makes up of okay, I can do this, and this, or I don't like this, and this. Identify what you like and don't like once you obtain a role, and build up off those skill sets. Like now, how I'm teaching SIM and remediation and incident response. I like that because it gives me a rush. It gives me a sense of urgency to get things done and respond to things and handle alerts. Um, and also identifying how is it affecting you too. Um, I can say out of all the roles that I have worked, although there are some things that I may have not liked it about the role, I still use it in my role now. So never think that you're not going to revisit something that you don't like because sometimes you might have to use it. And just keeping keeping your skill sets or a particular stack of skill sets that you want to expand on too. Um, I feel like for myself, have a lot of different skills and identifying which skills is going to lead me to the next step. Obviously, all of them, but those main core skills, not only your hard skills, but also your soft skills too. Um, but I should say, when it comes to your education, especially when it comes to education, obviously certifications too, um, I'm looking for the one thing that's free. So if you have a job that could pay for you to go enroll into a boot camp or a cohort or in school, and they could pay for it, have them pay for it. Because obviously this is an investment into yourself. So allow these organizations to invest into you so they can pay for it. And if they obviously want to see you grow and excel with them, they will do it for you too.
Very good, very extensive. And yes, the networking piece is important. At Tech Up Labs, we make sure that you guys understand the networking piece before you go into the Security Plus exam. So that is a very extensive topic, but rest assured, we are here to make sure you guys understand things like the OSI model and different network components, which can greatly, be a determiner or questions on the exam. So we got you covered with that. And it seems like, Licole, you're saying that always upskill, always make sure that you're sharp ahead of the curve. I did have a conversation with someone saying that, there are so many cybersecurity jobs that are unfulfilled that they try to stuff different things into a role. For example, someone was trying to poach me from a company. So when you get poached, someone is looking to get you from another company to their company. But they said, hey, here's a risk management role. You do A, B, and C, normal risk management stuff, but also you need to know how to code. And that's something like, okay, they're just trying to finesse you. They're trying to make you do stuff that you normally shouldn't need to do. Really depends on the company, but most companies have a separate department for people who develop things, right? Because then you have to keep in mind of secure development, right? That's the thing in cybersecurity, the SDLC cycle. So Licole, it's what you're saying is that, hey, if someone jumps into the field, they need to be consistently understanding their roles. They need to understand, how they can communicate better and consistently upgrade their skill set. So,
Yeah, and also I mentioned too, pay attention to the skill sets listed in the job description too.
mhm,
A lot of job descriptions list a lot of these different certifications, a lot of these different softwares. And a lot of the things that you see in one job description, you're more than likely are going to see it in another. So a lot of these companies are probably using the same softwares. Like for instance, we just seen experience a global IT outage. So a
mhm.
lot of companies are using CrowdStrike. So pay attention to what companies are using and how they're using. And even if you interview with them, ask them how they're using these software tools. And because they're probably going to expect you to know how to work it, but also ask them, do they know how to work it? Because I've experienced working with organizations where they have all these tools and literally only one person knows how to operate these tools. And so go when you see these tools, like I just mentioned, CrowdStrike. Look at CrowdStrike. See what CrowdStrike does. What does that platform look like? How do people operate this type of software? When it comes to like phishing, I experienced like I worked in like when organizations utilize Google Workshop because they're a Google Workshop and they use Gmail. And oftentimes Google admin is that space where they host like a lot of the phishing alerts and with email. So learning what does that look like? What does these different platforms look like? And all these things can be YouTube as well. Um, YouTube these different softwares and different components that you see in job descriptions and understand how they're being used and what can they be used for. And that would even bring you on even better to understand. I have an idea of what this is. Now I can actually learn it and put it into my skill set too.
Absolutely. Great, great, great. Now, let's talk about the Security Plus certification. Okay. I have it, you have it. Anybody else have it in here? Okay. So everyone's working towards it. Um, the benefits of the Security Plus. How has that impacted your career?
Um, I honestly, I feel like the moment that I put it like on my resume, I got more traction.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to the terms of interviewing, I feel like I got asked questions regarding some security plus concepts. But I mean, like, I feel like since it's just being like that first level security certification, it's just being like a basic certification, really just being asked about the basics of it. But a lot of recruiters do ask if I have it or if I'm either working towards the certification after it. But I guarantee you it does bring some type of traction because a lot of people are looking for that. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. And obviously, it's always updating itself and more things added to it to be learned. So yeah, it's always going to be needed, and always going to provide you with extra push.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so now we got our certifications out the way. We got, uh things to do as someone coming into cybersecurity. right? And we talked a little bit about the technologies. Okay, so has there been a time where you had a challenging, security incident? How did you handle it? What did you do when it happened?
Okay, my experience when I was a security analyst, okay, we were going through purple teaming exercising with a third party. And with purple teaming exercises, typically third parties, they do all these different type of different cyber attacks, understanding how vulnerable your organization is. Uh, it's a lot. They go through all these different exercises and obviously understanding to see for you, for your team to understand if your different softwares are picking up on these different alerts and seeing, identifying what you need to fix within your organization. So one particular time during this exercise, we got a call from our vendor, but this was after hours. Got a call from our vendor about a particular alert. And my position on a hierarchy when a vendor calls, I'm literally like the eighth person that needs to be called. So that means they done called every lead before me and didn't get an answer. And by the time they called me, you'll be thinking to yourself like, okay, well, why didn't nobody answer the phone? And it's okay because of course it's after work hours and nobody's online. So picking up the call, they're telling us we got a type of particular, I'm gonna say um, I'm gonna say it's something identity related type of alert, which was the vendor at the time, CrowdStrike. Um, so calling us talk to me about the alert, telling me the details about it. So my first thing to do was okay, put into the group chat. The vendor just called me about the particular alert that we got. Um, Post that I'm still on the phone. Now I got my whole team online trying to see what they're talking about. And at this point, we're figuring out the fact that they didn't contact us when they were doing purple teaming exercising. So having a conflict of interest with this vendor and our third party team exercise, um, and them not doing a good job as a vendor identifying us right away versus to calling us after we have already reviewed this type of alert. So the challenge where they came in at is one, the communication with the vendor and the rep that we had for us not being on their job at that time. Two, for challenge for me was understanding the roles that everyone plays on a team. Um, because when you get an alert and especially a call after hours, everybody is all hyped up and trying to make sure that it's nothing is really not happening, and obviously nothing didn't happen. But understanding each role, my role as analyst, my tenure as a lead, assurance, and then understanding what my CISO does and understanding why everybody has this particular, I wouldn't say attitude, but why they have a particular feeling about how a situation was played out. Um, Three, also reassuring yourself that anything can happen at any time. And cybersecurity is 24/7, 365 a day. And that was like my first time experience a real live alert that could have had been us being compromised, but it wasn't. Um, and obviously understanding how to be prepared when something happens. And also that's when I implemented a way that, okay, what is our incident response plan? What is the order when things happen and what needs to be implemented because we are a very small team. Um, and a lot of the things that are being implemented was fairly new. And when things don't coincide with how people think it's going to go, it doesn't necessarily go like that. So a lot of people are just thinking for themselves first and not thinking for the whole team when it comes to what reporting standpoint. So having to report all those different details that I was on the phone with that vendor talking about what happened, and I'm reassuring them that okay, this is the part of our exercise that we've already done, and really ensuring with my team again that this is a vendor that we probably should have been working with because they called us after hours and not at the time that alert ping, and why didn't our system alert us at the time that it happened? But I say with a lot of incidents, it's always going to be some arising challenges. And that's why I feel like when it comes to a security team and a networking team, that's why the relationship is important. And that's why it's important for understanding how things are connected and why things need to be connected the way that they are.
Absolutely. Yes. Very important, even when it comes to incident response plans and disaster recovery plans, that we have those contacts. We make sure that, we implement any contingency plans that is a part of, cybersecurity, part of risk management. So those are, some of the hands-on experience you'll get with us. But, just having Licole basically tell you that scenario it gets real. Like, we saw it with CrowdStrike. I bet I bet the IT departments everywhere was going crazy on that. But yes, this is what you should expect when coming in the field. All right, so now that you told us about how you've handled a situation, can you tell us how you remain current on different cybersecurity trends or different technologies?
Everything, researching, Googling. I'm subscribed to a lot of different newsletters when it comes to cybersecurity. My network is very important. I'm connected with a lot of different CISOs, analysts, engineers, and they work in all these different organizations. So understanding what they're doing and how they're handling different things. Also, the different softwares that I use. Often come with newsletters as well about the different vulnerabilities, what type of attacks been happening, LinkedIn, Twitter, different social groups, mentors, a lot of different components make up what I know. But yeah, everything that I mentioned is pretty much how I stay up to date. And also YouTube. I follow a lot of different cybersecurity influencers, and they cover a lot of different topics and current trends that's going on as well. And obviously, just reaching out and having a conversation with people who do what you do or do what you aspire to do, and see how they handle different situations. What do they see and what do they think about the next steps is for cybersecurity?
Great, 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 great. Yep. A lot of resources out there, newsletter. You can go to CISA or SANS.org. I'll actually put them in the chat as Nicole's typing. But yeah, you just use your resources. But going to those conferences, touching grass, seeing what people are doing, are like one of the best ways to learn or keep in touch with cybersecurity. Coming up on a few more questions here. What are some common misconceptions people have about cybersecurity? For example, everyone that wants to come into cybersecurity say, "Do you have to know math or any type of coding, or do you have to know these outrageous formulas?" What are some common misconceptions that you hear?
It's a lot of misconceptions. I feel like the main thing that's a misconception is we are just now generation influenced by social media and about what many different people say. Like I said, like if you're inspiring to do something, go out and find the people that do what you're trying to do and actually have a conversation with them. Talk to people in real life. Like now, especially since post COVID and all of that, many people trying to have a come up off a skill that is actually very important. So social media has a big influence on misconception. I would say when people hear cybersecurity or tech in general, of course, they're always going to think about the first thing to think about is software engineering. Everybody doesn't have to be a software engineer. Um, and I can say out throughout my career, I've literally only coded once or twice. But is that a skill that you can pick up? Yes, because some of the tools that you may utilize may use SQL, you may use Linux, you may use some type of command line. But there are a lot of misconceptions, but I don't want you to be blinded by what people say and what people are currently doing because they might not be real. Everything on the internet is not real. That's why we work these jobs. We're trying to stop these people from blindsiding you of what's real and what's not. But I would say, you have a lane, stay in your lane. You know what you want to expire, um, and go after that. Oh my bad. And truly go outside and meet the people that do what you're aspiring to do. Like a lot of you guys have met Deontay, amazing person. And I even met him. So by us having a conversation about what we do and what we're trying to aspire to do, he's one of the people that I would want on my team. And not only that, a lot of people that know me or have wanted to pivot into tech or probably already working in tech, always have conversations with me about what I've done so far or how did I do this, how did I do that. People are always going to be on the lookout for what you do and how you do it. And that's how you build your network too. Go find some real technical people with a background that aligns with what you're aspiring to be, whether it be cybersecurity, whether it be IT, anything. There are people out there that are willing to help you and give you guidance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always mention to our cohort students, like, hey, at your job, go to whoever's the cybersecurity analyst and, ask them if you tell them you want to get into cybersecurity and watch their eyes light up, depending on who it is, but always utilize your resources that are around you. That could be your next apprenticeship or your next internship, um, outside of us. But yes, we're gonna go into questions. So if anybody has questions, we're just gonna give you guys some time just to, shout out any questions that you have for Licole. Ask whatever you want as far as, cybersecurity. And then if you have any Tech Hub Labs questions, you can direct them to me or her. But yeah, after your questions, I'll just give you guys some important dates coming up for, our upcoming cohort and some housekeeping rules for Tech Hub Labs. All right. So yes, whoever wants to go first, you can go to ask Nicole a question.
What have you found to be like one of the most accurate sources of information? I know you named quite a few things, but between like YouTube and different social media platforms, but would you recommend, aside from actually going to sources of like getting out and meeting people, but like a consistent, for the most part, like one of the best like up-to-date things that you can find to kind of stay up to date and current?
Let me look up because I'm on my email right now and I have I want to say it's called Hacker. So I'm subscribed to Hacker News. Very pretty consistent for me. Also, my Gmail app, I have my app kind of set up to for my homepage of Gmail to really post a lot of tech related posts, articles. So I get a lot of IT articles, cybersecurity articles on my homepage, my Gmail, and you could actually set up your Gmail that way um, to just like different articles on that homepage that caters to your interests, and it will continuously pop up. So a lot of times I am reading about everyday news on there as well. But a lot of when I think about my resources, I mainly am on LinkedIn a lot, and I follow a lot of different CISOs and different organizations and different cybersecurity organizations too. So I kind of follow them and see what they think about the current economy, hiring practices, where they think the market is going. And I actually sometimes even DM them and be like, okay, let's have a conversation now. Because you never know who's watching you because a lot of people do watch me on LinkedIn and that triggers me to go ahead and hit them up and be like, okay, let's have a conversation now. But I follow a lot of people um, when it comes to cybersecurity. And if you notice, say for example, LinkedIn, when you just search the term CISO, a lot of CISOs are men, and it's interesting to see how these different CISOs operate their organization. Um, which I don't think there is no one-time solution for how technology should operate, but understanding how organizations are run, what they're doing, the different tools that they utilize, and just paying attention to the different conversations. Following along CISOs, I follow a lot of different cybersecurity recruiters, see what they think about the hiring practice for recruiting. Why isn't cybersecurity roles entry level? Understanding what their thoughts are on that. Just taking in a lot of different perspectives of what real technical professionals think of the industry. Um, and then start diverging yourself into different articles, different types of attacks. Like, for example, MGM just identified who hacked them, and it was a 17-year-old. So you're telling me us as cybersecurity professionals are getting outworked by a 17-year-old?
Mm.
So staying up to date with what's going on and how these companies are resolving their own issues, and start thinking to yourself like, okay, if I work there, what would Hive would have done? Yeah, you really gotta be a lurker. Well, you really gotta be a lurker almost. Like, you really gotta lurk. And that's pretty much what I be doing. Lurking on people, see what they doing. How can what they do benefit me? Also, like I said earlier when we first had the call, knowing how to Google these particular things that you actually want to know and figure out, and link it to yourself, bookmark it, and of course, cookies, cache, and all that, it's gonna recycle itself on your internet. But yeah, constant research.
Thank you. That was perfect. I appreciate that.
I do have a question for you too. So I guess while I'm trying to put this, what was how can I put this kind of one way? So in regards to security, right? What was your biggest motivation to like go to the top of the food chain when it comes to like CISO? I know you're talking about from the gender perspective, but really, what was like your hey, I don't want to be an engineer. I want to be at top of the food chain.
That's all I see myself as a leader. Like, that's all I see myself as. I'm the leader of my own life. I control my own life. I have a lot of people in my life that look up to me, that are inspired by me, that are rooting for me to win. It's more people rooting for me to win than to lose. So I'm just passionate about what I do, passionate about who I am, passionate about helping people. And that's a lot of things that we're missing from leaders today. So I am definitely motivated to come in and be an innovative and effective leader to not only people like me, but you all as well, looking to succeed and pivot into something that can actually help you in your life. But yes, I always saw myself as a leader. Always. The work shows it. For real.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always, ever since I met you give a good leader aura, so very, very good, very insightful, very insightful. Also, I wanted to make you guys aware, we also have an alumni that is on the call. I just peeped.
Outside.
I just peeped. Trevon, man, what's going on, man?
He just
I
asked a question too.
I
Hey,
just
how you guys doing?
yes. What's up, man? How's it?
Yeah. Everything's going well, man. I actually took my test last, or I guess 2 weeks ago, and I did pass. So
Oh,
I
Hey,
am
Let's
oh,
go.
certified
Let's
as a welder.
go.
congratulations.
man,
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
congrats.
So yeah, I appreciate it, man. I guess give a little background from my end. My name is Trayvon. I actually have a master's in cybersecurity. And I just really wanted to say, school has given me the background, but this cohort has actually given me like the technical skills. So a
Wow.
lot of the things that my school couldn't teach me, or that jobs are actually looking for, we talked about in the cohort, and we actually performed some of the things. So, for instance, like with Miss Licole here, we worked on Rapid 7. She pulled it up for us, showed us the actual program. We worked inside it, and I just thought that was amazing. I did get it added to my resume with the help of another teacher. I haven't went out and applied for any other jobs yet because I kind of been wanting to first focus on getting my certification, and then second, seeing how I can move forward within the position I'm in now, which I am a DBA, so I want to transfer into cybersecurity now. But yeah, man, overall, great teachers. I think everything was just perfect, and it's like one of those things where it's kind of like set up for you to be successful. And what I mean by that is, some things come into your life at a certain point in time, and when those opportunities arise, you take them. And this was one of those opportunities. So I was happy that I was able to, be able to be here within this cohort earlier this year.
Absolutely, brother. And we loved having you, brother. Really did, really did. Very smart guy, asked a lot of questions and utilized my office hours. I know.
Yeah, definitely
I,
recommend.
yeah, yeah. Now I see what professors are telling us now when we was in college and we didn't really go to office hours like that. But I'm like, look, y'all got it, man. But congratulations. Definitely, jump into the alumni group chat and tell them about it. Yeah, but that is, Trevon, man, he very solid guy, very solid guy. But yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So would you say that not having a degree kind of affects you not finding like a job? Because I plan on getting my degree, but it's gonna take me 4 years, and I don't know if I want to wait that long just to start trying to find my career.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend?
I mean, I would say, like, in my perspective, Licole may have something different, but I'm a non CS degree guy. My degree is in psychology, right? But what I did was, I came from the bottom back in those days, like help desk, all the way up. But you know, um, I would say what you learn right now is going to be obsolete in a couple years, right? Um, the field is always moving, it's always just expanding, right? And honestly, for me, just getting certs helped me a lot. But they also say that having that that degree in the background looks good. But honestly, just from my experience, and this is only from me, you know it's really what you can prove in the field, right? We have those 17-year-olds that are out here hacking into companies without their high school diplomas, right? But also, you have to think about the landscape of the United States, right? They encourage people to go to school, but does it really pay off? It's very subjective. It's really up to you. So
Okay.
that's my 2 cents. I don't, maybe Nicole has something else, but that's what I go by.
I would say this. Um, I know a lot of people with no degree, in tech, um, just worked hard to get to where they are now. No degree, work for very great companies, but now they say, um, eventually I am going to go back to school and get a degree because eventually, yeah, let's say you get your certification, you get multiple certifications, you get start your entry level roles, whatever you want to aspire to do. Okay. Now you done got you some experience in based off these certifications. Um, and now you're looking for more mid-level, senior level roles, and they may require it, they may not. However, one thing about tech, you're never going to stop learning. And that's why I mentioned earlier, if you have a job that will pay for it, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. Because it may not seem beneficial to right now, but it may pay off and be beneficial in the long run. For example, when I graduated college in 2019, I did not want to get a master's immediately after, only because I've been in college since 16. So I did not have plan on getting a master's after that. But now I'm considering a master's, only because the role that I'm playing now, and by being in my resume, not go start applying to other jobs and just based off these different skill sets, I might just need that master's. And obviously, I'm teaching now with Tech Hub Labs. Most teaching jobs for tech require a master's, and that would be my only reason to get a master's. And obviously, finding a program that aligns with your life. There's a lot of different online schools that are accelerated for you to get your bachelor's. And this is always a daily topic. I would say in tech is a degree worth it or not in tech. I'm going to always say it's worth it because education is always going to be important to me, and you're always going to be learning something. And obviously, from our programs that I participated in, I still use some of those things in my job today. So never take away the learning experience. Find a way to learn and work, whether it be a part-time tech job. You can go to school. But obviously, the certifications are popular. Yes, you can get far with a certification, but how hard are you willing to work to push that, to obtain the jobs that you want based off these certifications? And so many possibilities out there. You got to take the risk. You're going to take the risk with the certification and get you a good job and get you started and get you the experience. Okay, you got that experience. Now you're going to take another risk and go after this degree. It's
Yeah.
all about how you're going to properly plan for this experience versus this education, when obviously you're going to be nonstop learning once you in. So find a way to fit that into that experience too.
Yeah, absolutely. Touched on really good points. And just remember, like I always say, if somebody is paying for it, use it. Even your job, all that, if they paying for something, use other people's money. I cannot stress that enough because, you just, if you spend like, 30,000, 50,000 for something that could be obsolete, it's just, it may, like Licole said, it could pay off, going into the future. But, um, at this point in time, is you don't want to have that debt going on, following you. But if somebody could pay for it, definitely leverage that. Definitely leverage that. And also understand that, there are people who are I know people in higher positions that don't have degrees or anything like that, but it's just they're well connected, right? So don't ever get discouraged when that happens, right? Because sometimes in this game, it's not fair at all, right? But use all the resources you can, whether that's you having your Security Plus or your CISSP or your PhD in technology, right? Use everything because at the end of the day, you want to have you want to have some leverage when it comes to the job market or corporate America. And also you just at the end of the day, you also want to know that you are doing a competent job. You are, you know, doesn't matter if you have degrees or certs or anything, are you doing the job right? And that's, what we preach every time, time and time.
Oh, one quick question, last quick question, for Licole, real quick. I know Deontay asked you this earlier, but Licole, from your perspective, why are most entry level jobs now becoming like stricter, where you want like 3 years to requirements, 4 years to requirements? Just I've been noticing that on LinkedIn, Monster, a lot of these hiring platforms.
You know, I ask the same questions. I ask the same
Okay.
questions. Um, I just feel like a lot of organizations don't know what they want.
Mm.
Um, and I actually talked about this in the cybersecurity panel I did literally last cybersecurity month about how recruiters recruit. So I've been in cybersecurity. This is 2024. Since I started my journey in 2021, I still get calls about help desk. I know I haven't worked in help desk since 2020.
Wow.
So a lot of recruiters are not technical savvy. So you have a recruiter, you have your hiring manager, then you have a team that's working with these two people who aren't that technical savvy, although they're so supposed to be considered technical recruiters. Um, However, if you were ever to talk, I've talked to plenty of recruiters, and they will literally tell me I'm not that technical savvy.
Mm.
So you really have to expand on your experience when you're talking to these people and they actually call you back about a job. Really go into detail about your experience and really relate it to that job description of what they're looking for. Because a lot of times when people do call you, they have no idea what tech is. No idea what tech is. I've experienced this is like my one of my milestone years. Still to this day, I get recruiters who are not technical savvy, um, and requiring so much but don't know what this requirement is. So
Wow.
you have to outbeat them on what they want so they can get you. So you can get it to the door to actually go meet the people who want to hire somebody with these skill sets. And I totally skip past the recruiter sometimes. I go straight to the source on who actually hiring. And most of the time, the people on those teams, it is probably someone on their team or the actual CISO, the department lead based off that team. I go talk to them directly and say, hey, I just put in my application. Um, can you go review it? Here's my different skill sets. And more than likely, the next day I get a call from the recruiter. I already talked to them. So taking that extra step to be like, okay, they don't know what they talk about. Let me see who's actually hiring for this. And also, when you on LinkedIn, when you're searching for jobs, I know, I mean, sometimes I go into the job section, but now I probably type in security plus hiring, security analyst hiring, security engineer hiring. Whatever role that you're probably seeking, I search hiring after that. Or I probably just search hiring tech. You know, somebody is always making a post about what they're hiring for. Those are probably the exact source for that particular team hiring for that role. Talk to them, send them your resume. Um, when it comes to a lot of us are on different, are obviously all over the world. So my market is going to look totally different from your market.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like now, I apply to strictly remote jobs, strictly remote jobs. So I pay attention to does this job, does this job cater remote to my market? If although it's say remote, is it actually remote for my market as well? Um, is these companies has office in my particular location? Would they provide an opportunity for me to travel to these different offices? Things like that. Like you really got to get creative with these job searches and don't just be looking for a tech job. Look in these different industries, like my hobbies. I like to travel, hospitality, art, film, media. All these different sports, all these different industries have a technical department, have a cybersecurity department. Look at them. All you guys have hobbies that you like and adore. Actually work in an industry that caters towards your hobby and work in the tech department. Um, Go talk to those people that work in those particular industries and see how they like working in the gaming industry, doing cybersecurity for the gaming industry. How they like working for the NBA. How do they work for the NFL? Art, design, fashion. Like it's so much out there for us, made for us to do. So yes, take all that into consideration. Get creative with the job search. Get creative with what people are looking for, and get creative and stamp it on your resume.
All right, I really appreciate that. I definitely
Yeah.
gave some compliments, but yeah.
Hey man, that was a really good question, man. Really good question. So really good. And yeah, Licole, like Licole was saying, get creative because you know, it's one thing to put in a resume, it's another thing to show up at a CISO's office and say, look, I can do this, this, and that, and here's why, and have a portfolio. And that's something we do in the core program. We have a portfolio because it actually gives you more of a 3D image of who you are, you know, instead of a resume. I'll give you an example, like when I was you know, applying to Slack, you know, I got on the phone with my mentor at Salesforce, and you know, he said, "Oh, you know, you do cybersecurity for university. You know, you do this, you do that, you do things for the community." We had 2 phone calls. On the third phone call, he said, "Yo, I'm gonna make a call and see if you can apply to this position." The position I applied to was on the internet for 30 days. And usually if this on the internet for 30 days, it's probably like 1,000 applicants. But just simply because I went to him and he made that phone call, I just bypassed the whole job application process and they called me in for the interview and that's how I got the job. So really just being different, but you know, showing that skill, showing that portfolio, showing someone what you can do. Um, you know, just really changes things, right? That those days of just putting in a job application, yeah, you can do it, but it's gonna is it gonna really like differentiate yourself? 90% no. So yes, just to piggyback on Licole's point. Um, yeah. Questions? Any other questions? I know y'all got some more questions.
I know both of you guys spoke on like reaching out to people and building, I guess, that sense of community. I guess how important, has, building that community been in both of you guys' journey? And I guess like what was like some of the avenues or the creative ways that you went about um building that community, which I mean, it's a given, not taking no for an answer, but just how, like, in some of the ways that you guys kind of be creative in building, this sense of uh, community. Because I don't come from a technical background, but going to the mixer where I actually got to meet you, like, I never even, knew that tech really looked like us in the capacity that it really did. And so that was just pretty awesome and amazing for me to see. But, in you guys' journey, how was that? How important was that for you guys to get, to the point that you are now?
I would say this. I I feel like now I network way more now than I did before because I'm an introvert. Very introverted person. So now that I've like acquired like a lot of different accolades and just put myself out there, um, more people reach out to me than I do to them. So they always want people are always going to be watching you. People are always going to be knowing what you're doing, what you're up to. But it took me time to learn. And my mentor, when I was going through my pivot, like I mentioned, and we were just talking about it, I was telling her about like all the roadblocks I'm encountering. And that's when she just told me, she was like, go find people, go find them. And that's exactly what I did. And now that we are more open with the world, I'm able to go outside and go meet people, go to different events, and really push myself to actually talk to people. And sometimes they go and talk to them, or they just walk up and talk to me, just see what they doing, how they handle it. And most of the time, a lot of people that I do meet don't come from technical backgrounds at all. Um, and being open to the type of people you want to meet, the type of people you want to in your network, what type of attributes they have, what type of characteristics do they have. Write those things down. I want to say before I went to Houston, before even especially before I met Deontay, before I went to Houston, I wrote down a list of characteristics that a type of people that I wanted to meet while I was there on my trip. And when I went to Mr. Cloud, he was one of those people, literally, literally. And not only that, um, he was one of the very few people that actually worked in cybersecurity because a lot of people there didn't really work in cybersecurity. He was one of the very few people that I met in cybersecurity, and he matched all the different characteristics that I wanted out of people that I wanted in my network. So yeah, what type of people that you want to attract in your network? How do they make up your network? And not only that, if I'm a part of your network, somewhere in my network, you're going to meet somebody there too. So constantly building it up. I mean, and it's always going to be something to rely on. Like Trayvon, he was actually my referral to my job now. And the only reason why he texted me was just like, man, I got this job across my desk, and I know you're the only person that could do it. Now working a job. Like people are always going to be thinking about you when you constantly are in communication with them and they know what you're capable of doing. So keeping your work ethic strong and that communication is key. So yeah, get out there and go find those people that make up of who you are and where you're going. Not just right now, but where you're going.
Absolutely. And real quick before we end the session, yeah, it's going to sound corny, but I would just say your network is your net worth. So, um, the people you hang around, and when you go to these events and you're in the industry, make a name for yourself. That's simple as that. Make a name for yourself. All right. Real quick, I'm just going to basically just share with you guys some important dates coming up for Tech Up Labs. So we see right here, August 19th is the last day to RSVP for the cohort, but everyone here is RSVP'd. You'll just get an invitation to apply. You can apply right now if you want to. But then once you are, locked in and set, we just send you some DocuSign documents. And then the first day of the course is August 22nd. And then, we just go through syllabus. You don't have to do anything really that week. And always remember that we have a 14-day money back guarantee. So if the first 2 weeks you're not feeling it, we give you your money back. Okay. And then the 23rd is like the deadline for people needing extra time to finalize enrollment and anything of that. And then, yes, again, you guys know it's a 14-week cohort program. Everyone who's there at the cohort will be working towards the same goal as you, right? Getting Security Plus certified and then getting, participating in our artificial intelligence curriculum, right? Because that is um, something that will keep you edgy and seen in the job market. But it's a good way where, at the end of the day, we are changing your mindset to make a name for yourself and really show people, at the grassroots of, what can I offer your company, right? I have these skills. This is what I can offer with my portfolio, with the list of skills, with my certifications. And then you go from there, right? You go from there and you start, being awesome, right? Don't just come into the industry to be average. Come into the industry to do very well, make a name for yourself. And then if you want to leave, you leave. Or if you want to stay in, you stay in, right? But, this is what we do here. All right. So I definitely want to thank everyone who's jumped on the call. We're definitely, here just to talk. If you guys need, our contact numbers, we'll put it in the chat. And yes, we look forward to talking to you guys again. All right.
Yes, I could put my LinkedIn in the chat.
My LinkedIn's real easy to find. I can actually, let me find it real quick. But if nobody has any questions, I'll put my LinkedIn on in the chat and you guys are free to go.
Copy pasting.
Somebody has a question? Oh, cool. All right. Everyone have a good rest of the night.
You too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. See you guys. All right.
Hey, real quick before we hop off, can you still hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
How I know you recorded it. How would we be able to get it to like either like play it back or like listen to everything that was said again?
Yeah, we're gonna send it to you via email. So we're gonna send it to everybody individual emails.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Peace.
Peace.
I do have a few last questions, if that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Deontay, I see you're in GRC, man. So prior to the boot camp that I'm doing, maybe Licole can put her 2 cents in on this too. I
Mm,
know that I'm liking so far the GRC. Like it wasn't like the boot camp I already told you this morning. It wasn't really well taught, in my opinion. Like how you guys kind of showed examples from real to lives experience. But I
mm,
wanted to know, I kind of got Licole's experience, but from your experience in GRC,
mm.
what were like the day-to-day kind of feels for you? What was the day-to-day basis like for you? Better words.
Yeah, day to day for me was well, number one, we had questionnaires. Number two, we had to do a lot of audits and like risk assessments.
Hmm.
Number three, we had AWS. We had to make sure that people were deprovisioned, and then we had to take note of that. And then when we introduced new technologies, like a lot of AI came on board, I had to get very proficient in AI, like fast, super fast. But just having those AI risk assessments, those audits, database scans as well, using Nessus and Wiz, and I did a lot of FedRAMP stuff as well. So that's like with the federal
Hmm.
government, you have to make sure that you don't have a lot of CVEs in your databases and stuff. You have to keep them updated if you want to work with the government. So those are some of the things I did. Yeah, basically day-to-day things. So it was a lot. And then just answering customer uh, questions about our cybersecurity posture. Do we have 2FA? Do we have a jump server? Are we deprovisioning engineers after they leave the company in 24 hours? So those are basically day-to-day tasks.
Oh wow, yeah. So yeah, it seems like a lot, man. Because again, it's a broad field. I love it. Because I know we was looking at the OSINT framework too, and it
Yeah.
showed like all these umbrellas and disciplines. I'm like, man, you can get lost.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's good to know like the NIST framework or MITRE ATT&CK. Those
Yes.
are pretty good just to know. But yeah, man.
Okay, cool. And last thing, Licole, or Licole, is it Licole or Licole? I'm sorry.
Either because my name is French.
Okay, Licole. Last thing before I let you go, I was telling Deontay earlier, I love tech. Like, I come from a fitness degree background, but I just love technology. It's my passion. So I might ask a lot of questions. I stay last minute sometimes. So but I wanted to know with your skills, I know I came in a little late, but you were talking about how you wear all the hats for the company you work for right now.
Yes,
With all those skills that you have, what made you not want to like start your own business outside of the corporate 9 to 5?
I actually am planning to.
Okay, okay.
I actually am planning to. I'm doing it in a totally different way. But stay connected with me. You will see soon. But yes, I am planning to have my own business as well. Just getting my hands on to a whole bunch of different technologies, understand how people run their business. And really now my position now, it is minority woman owned. So there is their own business. So getting like a lot of
Amen.
entrepreneurship experience from them. Um, and just learning how I want to do it in my own way. But yes, we'll definitely have my own business that's just a sign right there. But yeah,
Yeah, huge sign.
and really just narrowing down what type of services do I want to offer, what type of communities do I want to serve, the people that I want to involve. So yeah, definitely coming. Still have a long, I want to say a long way to go, but a lot more to learn. But definitely on the way.
Okay. Again, congrats to you for doing that, and congrats again to Deontay for this idea of just doing this cohort, because he knows a little bit of my testimony. Like these educational platforms on the like the college level, they know how to sell, and I just felt kind of like how I got caught in that trap. And coming to tonight, I really feel a different engagement. You guys really reflected on like this is what to expect. It's not just like, yeah, I know a buddy. He works in this field. He likes it. Yeah, you guys really dove in, like how you talked about today. Like you had conflict with a vendor. That's something to really expect. It's not cut and dry. So again, I just appreciate you guys, and I look forward to it. So yeah.
Ooh, see you in the classroom soon then.
Yeah, I love tech. Like I've been trying to get into tech for since 2021, and again, it's just hard for me because I see like these entry levels talking about like for help desk like 3 years of experience. I just automatically like nah, never mind.
You
Just
say you're in North Carolina?
yeah. To be honest, I'm near RTP or her Research Triangle Park.
No.
Okay, I'm just near Raleigh. Just speak short and simple, Raleigh,
Okay.
North Carolina. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be on the lookout because I'm an HBC graduate, so I definitely am familiar with NCAT.
Yeah.
Definitely have a few know a few friends that went there too. So definitely, and actually, NCAT technical degree programs are amazing. Because I actually was considering them for grad school. But definitely will be on the lookout. If you send me a LinkedIn request, I'll be on the lookout because I do get notifications for jobs from North Carolina too, and I could just forward them over to you. But yeah,
Okay, do you know a person named by Roderick Jefferson?
if I know anybody, it would have to be from
He
maybe
with
this
it.
2019 class.
Okay, because I know he got his computer science. He got his master's in computer science from NCAT, and he's in software engineering. So and I found him through LinkedIn. But yeah, I graduated from UNCG, so I'm right down the street from you. So yeah, but yeah, nevertheless, again, appreciate it. I look forward to connecting with y'all more, and yeah, y'all have a good night.
You as well.
All right, see you, Deontay.